So when I want to compare two quantitative variables, I'm going to make a scatter plot of the data. So we're going to be looking at two sets of data. Number one is hours, and number two is grades. I have them switched in my list, but it's really not important as long as you remember which is the explanatory and which is the response. So in this problem, we're trying to predict your grade based off of the number of hours you studied. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at scatter plot. So I'm going to add a new page, just like I did before. I'm going to look at data and statistics. So this is the first thing we want to do when we look at this relationship between these two. I'm going to click down here on the add variable, and as we saw before, hours is the explanatory, grades are the response, and you can see that there is a pretty clear positive linear relationship between number of hours studied and your grade on the test. All right, so after I make the scatter plot, I probably want to see the regression line. So if I go to menu, analyze, regression, and I'm going to use this second show linear, which is the statistics form of this, where A is first, the y-intercept is first, and the slope is second. So that gives me the equation of the line that goes up through the points. Now this didn't really do anything except give us our equation over here, but it didn't put it into the calculator at all. It just kind of floats out there and it doesn't store anything at this point. So equation of my line is y equals 18.78 plus 27.97x, and that indicates that if x is 0, then my y would be 18.78. So if I didn't study at all 0 hours, my grade would be an 18.8. And some of you would say, I'm okay with that. Number two, the slope, 27.97, means for every increase in hours studied, that's an increase in x, our y is increasing 27.97 points on my grade. So for each 1 hour, my grade is increasing that much. Now I can also analyze that back over here on this page on my list and spreadsheets. Now I'm going to show you why we're doing that one at this point. So we're going to go look at the equation of the line again in a different way. So we're going to go to statistics, stat calculations. Again, we're going to the A plus BX, linear regression. We're going to have our X list as our hours studied. Y list is my grades. We're going to put the equation into F1. It's kind of important later, but that's the default, so we really don't have to worry about that. And we're going to put it into our results into the fourth column. All right, so this is the same equation that we did before. So 18.78 again is my y-intercept, 27.97 is my slope. But as I scroll down, I can see some pretty interesting things. Number one, I can see the r squared, and I can see the correlation, which is 0.957, which tells me that this is a very strong relationship between those two variables. Now, if we're looking at residuals as well, this also gives us a list of all those residuals. Now, you probably can't read them on here. Some will be positive, some will be negative, and on average, they're all going to be 0 because this residual is the distance, the vertical distance each of the points are from that regression line. All right, well, that's making a scatter plot, and turns out we got correlation in there too.